All right, so it is windy and rainy and almost April, which means it's the perfect time to start talking about Knott Scary Farm 2024. This video is so far ahead of everything else. There have been no real major announcements, nothing like that, but I kind of just want to walk the grounds and kind of talk about everything and get your guys' thoughts really on what's going on, what you want to see, what's happening currently in the park, and what we think is going to happen a little bit later on. So let's get inside Knott's today and check out all things Knott's Scary Farm 2024. Caution. What you're about to watch may contain spoilers, possible profanity, high-intensity flashing lights, and disturbing imagery. Viewer discretion or parental permission if underage is advised. Now, before we even start this video, I just want to say that everything I talk about today in regards to things that are new or haven't been announced yet is purely speculation. I have no idea about anything coming this year. So I just kind of want to talk about things that I would like to see or hear things that you guys would want to see. It's all speculation in my opinion. Now that we're scanned into the park, I think the number one thing we have to talk about is the dates. We got the dates already. The dates for Scary Farm 2024 are September 19th through November 2nd. This is like one of the first times in a long time that Scary Farm has run into November. And I just think it's because Halloween lands on a Thursday this year, so they kind of want to close it out with like a Friday, Saturday, end the whole thing right there, which is perfect. I love that it goes into November just because it gives us that little extra time at the end to kind of say goodbye to everything. We're starting here by the entrance of Camp Snoopy, where, as you know, if you visited Scary Farm in 2023, this is the entrance to the Chilling Chambers, which was their kind of 50th anniversary maze. Had tons of Easter eggs in it, tons of really cool things. And, I love every second of this. Oh my gosh! Oh my god, I wish you guys could... Doll Factory! Oh my god, I wish you guys could see. I'm literally smiling ear to ear this entire maze. Oh my god. Oh, Doll Factory! Now, the fate of this maze right now is unknown. I see it back there. It's still there. It's still up. But I don't think it's going to be focused on a 50th theme. It's their 51st, which means it's not a milestone anymore. So we can totally see a re-theme of this maze. Now, would I like that to happen? No, because there were so many Easter eggs and so many fun things going on in this maze that I would just like to see it come back for maybe one more year before they change it. Now, walking into Camp Snoopy, it may not look like Scary Farm is ready to bring the gauntlet back in here based off of all these walls and there's like no space, but rest assured, all the construction should be done by the time Scary Farm rolls around. We should be good. There should be no walls. Everything should be good to go. That's us crossing our fingers. And hopefully the gauntlet just returns with the same amazing energy they had last year. And I hope they have another really cool slider show because that like totally pulled this whole zone together. It was really cool to see. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Oh my. Ooh. We're trying to get to the last maze that we still need to do of the brand new one. Ooh. Oh my god! Oh my god! Now, one thing I would really like to see for the gauntlet this year is for them to utilize this space in this area. They didn't really do that last year, but in previous years they had the burning up there. It was really cool, so just utilize this space would be very nice, but other than that, nothing to talk about really here. Another thing I wouldn't mind them adding is another maze here. I know they used to utilize this space for a maze. I remember Cornstalker's in here. But the only problem with that is that these guys would not get to run if they did put a maze here. Now, the number one question on my list is what's gonna happen here? Fiesta Village. We got nothing last year, which shocked me because they had just redone Fiesta, and I totally thought we were gonna get something put in here, even if it was just a DJ, and we got nothing. So hopefully this year they add scare actors. We get a return of Dia de los Muertos, or just a DJ. That was just honestly so much fun and filled this space. Now, I know a big thing with Knott when creating this space was the storytelling aspect with like these alebrijes. So it would be cool to see like these incorporated in some sort of Scary Farm something here. That would be awesome to kind of incorporate the story of Fiesta Village and these characters and do something really cool. Dun 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 dun. Next up, I want to talk about Forsaken Lake. So I loved Forsaken Lake last year. Such a cool addition with the characters. Everybody was playing the part so well. But I'm hearing rumors that this may be the last year for Forsaken Lake. So I hope that's not true. But Forsaken Lake may be falling into the lake and sinking deeper and deeper after this year. So I don't know. Let's hope it's not true, but if it is, we get to at least enjoy it this year once more. Now we are headed towards the back side of the park, which is home to Carnival, which we'll talk about in a second. But first, I want to talk about Cinema Slasher, literally one of the best mazes we've gotten at Scary Farm in a long time. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Ooh. Oh my gosh! Trick or treat. Oh my god! This one, still brand new. It debuted last year, and I have a feeling we're getting it back this year. They have said nothing about it, so I wouldn't worry about this. This will be returning. Now I am at the entrance of Accelerator, which right behind it is the Mesmer Maze. Now, Knott Scary Farm normally holds on to mazes for a handful of years. I would say about 5 years before they ultimately retire them. So Mesmer's getting up there. Mesmer's getting to that point, but I don't think it's going to be its last year this year. We will definitely be seeing that return again this year. They still have the actual maze up itself right now. So if we went on the train, we'd be able to see it. Which brings me to the Carnival Scare Zone. Now, this one is returning. This is something that's been here for a while and is going to continue to probably be here for a while. But I would like to see it freshened up. I would like to see something new here. Maybe like one of these classic clown looks, or maybe turn everything into one of these classic clown kind of looks. I would love that because this area is very bright. It's very happy. I'm terrified of clowns and I don't even get scared here. And I want to say that's no hate to any of the actors. All of the actors here do a brilliant job doing what they're doing. But I would like to see a little change up in here. I cannot wait to see these guys all decked out as clowns again because that means we're getting close. Now let's talk about the carnival show that's here. This show I have talked to quite a handful of people about, and I think all of us kind of feel the same. I think it's time for the show to go. It's time for something new here. Honestly, even if it wasn't themed to Carnival, which is right here, it'd be cool to see something maybe themed to Ghost Town over there, or even Goring 20s, which is right here. I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a refresh of show on this stage. One thing I will add is Scary Farm raised the bar for the 50th. They did something incredible. I loved the event. Every aspect of it was just heightened from years before. And I don't really want to see them stoop below that because they've already proved that they've got it in them to do something incredible. So hopefully everybody is up on that same bar this year. Okay, wishful thinking, but like scary tales, and just change the screens in there to be scary stuff. Come on, Knotts, come on. So now that we reached Charleston Circle, we can talk about Goring 20s, which is definitely going to return again this year. I love this zone. It's just always so much fun to see everybody interacting with everybody. It's not one of the scarier ones, but it definitely is one of the fun ones. So do not skip out on this zone if you're coming this year. Also, without going into the arcade, I just want to talk about Room 13, which will be returning again. It debuted last year, so it's only fitting that it comes back this year, and I'm very, very excited for that. Oh, the bellhop! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Why are we alone in here? Why are we alone in here? What is this? Oh my god! Oh! What happened to her? Now, in my opinion, Room 13 was one of the scariest mazes last year, so I can't wait to see it again this year and see what they add or do different. Also, at the factory store, I'm sure the art exhibit for Scary Farm will once again come back. One of my favorite things here to just look at all the art that people create for Scary Farm, because I know those people are dedicated fans. But right across the way here is the Walter Knott Theater, which was home to Music, Monsters, and Mayhem last year, which was their 50th extravaganza, their big show in this theater.
Darlings, it's me, the Queen of Halloween. I am the Mistress of the Dark. Apply. Keep it going.
I loved this show. Lots of people loved this show. So we're hoping it comes back this year, at least for one more year. I just want to see it one more time. But again, the fate's unknown, really. We don't really know if they're going to bring it back this year or put something completely different in there, which I hope they don't do. One more year of Music, Monsters, and Mayhem. Now, as we start walking towards Pony Express and back up towards Ghost Town, it's important to start thinking about mazes that have been with us for a handful of years, that are possibly retiring after this year. I think it's important to keep in mind and just kind of prepare yourself for that to happen if you're a fan. Go through those mazes, a couple more times throughout the season. But we're coming up on our first that I think is on the chopping block. Right past the Wilderness Broiler is the barn that currently houses Sarah Marshall.
The streets of Halloween, filled with creatures of the night, made of swine, beasts, and the undead. My power is destined for a much greater purpose, and each one of you is banished.
Now, Origins, the Curse of Calico, is one of those mazes that's been around for quite a while. So I can see this one leaving. I can see this one going away after this year. But they might just retheme it and do something different with the same kind of Sarah Marshall storyline, because that ties into the event as a whole. And then right behind us here is the entrance to Grimoire, which is totally going to return again this year. This maze is so fun. It's very long. That's all I gotta say. This maze goes on for what feels like forever and ever. But I am very excited. I hope they change a few things around in there and do something a little bit different this year. But I loved the story and I loved the theming. Now, Knotts, I don't know how often you change out these pennies considering boomerangs here, or how often you maintenance the machines, but I would love to see Scary Farm pennies besides these. These ones have been here forever, but a nice little array of Scary Farm pennies during that time would be really cool. Into Fog Alley we go. Before we head into Fog Alley, we're going to check out the toy shop right here next to Town Hall in Ghost Town, because this is where they house some Scary Farm merch that you can find right now. This store literally has some of the only Scary Farm merch you can find in the park currently. So if you're looking for maybe something to pick up, a poster, they have a few shirts, they have some hats and stickers, this is the store you want to go to. I just have to show this because it's so cool. So now I'm kind of jumping ahead outside of the park to show you another spot where you can get some Scary Farm merch currently. Virginia's. So this whole backside of the store is all Scary Farm stuff. They have 50th things, tons more shirts, tons more mugs, more 50th specific items, and just things that you didn't see in the park. Now while we're out here, there's a couple more things I want to talk about. Firstly, I want to talk about the tribute store that was here last year. Could we see it returning? I hope so. I really do. That store was incredible. They just put so much love into that store and all the merch that they made for it. Honestly, a true Scary Farm fan loved that store. Now, I don't know if it's open or not. Oh, wait, it says open. But we're not going to go in. I just want to show you that there's walls still up in the back, which means stuff stayed up. Things from the tribute store stayed up, so that's a very good sign that we might get it back this year. Now, another thing I want to talk about while we're out here is the Beyond the Fog tour. So I remember a couple years back I checked into the Beyond the Fog tour outside here, and it just kind of reminded me that that was a thing when I was walking out here right now. So I hope they bring that back, because I would love to see some of these mazes up close and with the lights on and just take in all the detail, especially Chilling Chambers. So last year in the Birdcage Theater was Dr. Cleaver Returns. Now this show was very funny, very adult themed. I actually had no problem with it. It'd be cool to see it kind of changed up a little bit with the same characters, but it'd be cool to see again. Here we are, Fog Alley, home to Ghost Town Streets, which is for sure coming back. That is a staple in Scary Farm history, and that's not going nowhere. Now, just because the 50th is over, I hope we don't lose iconic characters like Sarah Marshall roaming these streets, because they're just, the characters that are icons are so much fun to interact with and watch walk along and scare other guests. Also, last year, I finally ate at Ghost Town Grill during Scary Farm. We sat right out here in the fog, and I can say it was a ton of fun. We had so much interaction with the monsters out here. We actually sat at that far table, so they were creeping up behind us, which was terrifying. Now, before we head back up to the front of the park, we are going to go down this way. Now, I was talking to Mondo the other day, and we were talking about how Ghost Rider permanently sits at a 2-hour wait. Like, all the time. Even during Scary Farm, there are just tons and tons of people that want to get on this ride, so it's just crazy. Now, lucky for us, we're filming the first update video while Boysenberry Lane is open so we can walk back here. But normally this area is closed, so let's kind of talk about this really quickly. So before we even start talking about anything, I just want to remind you that last year, Scary Farm had 4 iconic mazes back here. Waxworks, The Depths, Dark Entities, and Bloodline. Now, unfortunately, 2 of those we know are gone and are not returning this year. The Depths and Dark Entities. But I've heard some rumors and speculation that Waxworks might not even return, so I hope that's not true. If Waxworks does return this year, I feel like it's going to be its last year. And then we got Bloodline still hanging out in the back there. That one's going to be fine for at least a couple more years. Now, I am very excited to see what they're going to put in place of the Depths and Dark Entities, but I again hope it just reaches that standard that Knott's hit last year, because they did some really kick-ass stuff last year. Now, Knott's doesn't really do any IPs normally. Now that Six Flags has jumped in the game with an IP, could it be time for us to see Knott's Scary Farm return with an IP? I don't know. I would say no, but it would be a good speculation. Although I will say the Scary Farm lore and tying all their mazes together last year in some way, shape, or form is a good enough IP in my opinion. And finally, the Wagon Camp, which was home to the hanging last year. Now, honestly, I loved that the hanging was here because we got to sit down.
We're at Buena Park, for God's sake. It's your person I'm talking about. Not compliance with our vet bag policy. Seat size limitations. Guests may not enter with bags larger than 6.5 by 4.5 inches. You're gonna have to bring that back to the parking lot.
Now, can we see the hanging return? Possibly. I would say maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It's kind of up in the air at this point because although it is a fan favorite, I feel like last year was kind of just poking fun at people who were trying to complain too much and trying to cancel them in a way. So I feel like it was almost like a big FU from Knott and kind of proved their point. So I don't know if we're going to get it back. I don't know if it was just kind of like a smart move on Knott's part or if they're actually catering more towards the fans. Now, that is it for us here today. Honestly, I will say there's not much happening yet. So there's not many updates I can give you besides kind of dates that were announced and things that we know are not coming back. But this will be the first of many. So definitely subscribe and keep your eye out for more videos because they will be coming. If you enjoyed this speculation video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I would love to have you here and kind of pick your brain on what you think's coming for Scary Farm this year. And I just want to know in the comments, like, what are you most excited for? Are you excited for something to return? Are you excited for something new? Have you heard any rumors of anything? Let me know. Let's have a conversation in the comments. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!